let's understand the basics of what a fraction in order to simplify anything that we call a fraction in mathematics. Maybe some questions like this, right? So this is just what we call a rational fraction in mathematics. I will just explain that with some few examples, and then let's see how best we can deal with more complicated questions in the future. Now, the meaning of a fraction here is that maybe some of you may have a clear understanding, but what it means here is that when I give you just one apple here, right? So let's say this is an apple, right? This is an apple, just an apple. Is that okay? This is an apple, and then I ask you to share just this single apple among two people. Is that okay? So this is how you write it. Is that okay? So you're having just one apple and share that with two people. This is obvious. This is something that we know even before mathematics came to existence, right? So just that mathematics doing it in the more professional and more simple way. If the numbers are big, that is the whole idea of the mathematics in some cases, right? So understanding that is all. If this is obvious, right? Each person is just going to take, obviously, assuming this is the apple here, then sharing that amount to people. Each person is just going to take half of what the apple, and then the way of writing that is going to be one on what on two, meaning that you have one apple and then we are sharing that among two people. So one person, right? One person takes what half of the apple. So this is what we call what a fraction in mathematics. Is that okay? Now let's say we have half of now. So you see my apple and then my orange are almost the same, right? So if you have an orange here and then another orange here, the same scenario, right? So we are sharing that orange among two people. Each person is going to take half, and then this person also takes half of the apple. Now combining this half and half together, this is obvious, so that the answer is just going to be one, right? So like this, like the picture here, very beautiful picture here, this half and then plus another half in this way is going to be one, right? So you cut everything into equal part, right? So that's just the simple meaning of a fraction, how to do it. Now let's see how to solve this thing, assuming we are given something like 1 on 2 plus what 1 on 2, right? Before you even get to the questions like this, let's understand what is happening here. Now, how do you solve this problem in mathematics? So mathematics came up with some method that has been proved to be correct. They systematically do everything step by step for us to understand the basics. So if the numbers are huge, what are you going to do? Let's say you have something that goes like, let's say 300, let's say 250, and then divided by let's say how many people, let's say 520 people, right? So something like this. How are you going to do that if it is not half, right? So that is why mathematics is very, very important in dealing with some of the rare issues like this. So this is a step in dealing with a fraction that goes like this. So here you have an addition. So the rule here says that this is one thing you must know. If you are adding two simple cards of orange, or maybe half of the orange here, and you are adding them together, the law says that you should find what we call the least common multiple, right? So don't let this name scare you. What it means that we are going to find the least common multiple among these two people. That is when you are adding, right? So you are adding two people here, two fraction here together. For sure, this is what we call a rational fraction, right? A rational fraction, meaning that something on something on another, the output is being shared about what two people, right? So finding the LCM here is what you find the least common multiple among these two people here. These two people are down here. So the first one, the multiples of 2, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on and so forth. So the same thing will happen to the second guy here, right? So 2, 4, 6, and then 8. The least among them, the smallest among these numbers, you can see that is going to be 2. So the least common multiple of these guys, I know some of you know this already, but what will happen if you have a questions like this, right? So that is why you need to understand the basic here. Now that's going to be 2. So if the least common multiple here is 2, so by solving this, I think some of you know how to do this thing already. So you have 1 and then plus 1. If you don't know how to solve this thing, why don't you comment in the comments? So here we are going to have what 1 plus 1, that's going to be the 2, everything divided by 2. So it means that you are sharing 2 apple among what 2 people. Each person is just going to take what 1. So this is what we seen at the early part of this video, right? So that's where we did exactly. So this is how mathematicians use this strategy in solving a real life issue. Now, how can you solve something like this if it involves a letter? So maybe let's say this is a letter X and an X here. Is that okay? So it just comes with the same scenario if you're able to understand the basic of dealing with a fraction like this. If you are getting some value from this video and then you are new here, why don't you subscribe to our channel for more content like this? If you're already here, that is good. Just give us a thumbs up so that we can make more videos on something in mathematics for you to understand the basic and solving more complicated questions in the near future. Now we are having this guy here, so let's try and tackle this guy based on what our understanding. So if you have this x plus 1 and then plus 2 on what s and then minus 1, this is for understanding purpose. So here we are just going to assume that we don't care anything that they bring here, right? So this is x. So in mathematics, if you don't know something, then you replace that by what a letter or a variable. We call it what a variable. Is that okay? So we assume that we don't know this value here, right? So you just assume. I don't care what any letter that they will bring here. So all that I know is how to deal with or how to add two simple fractions. So I know that I'm going to find the LCM. So the LCM, which is the least common multiple, since we don't know the number here, we don't know the number here, I don't care about that. So the LCM is just going to be these two guys here. So that's what the s plus 1 and then the x minus 1. Is that okay? So putting them in bracket tells me that there are two different people here, right? So perfect. Now how can you proceed? So that is why you need to know how to add and that simple example here, right? So you need to know how to deal with this thing first. Now this guy here will go into, so this is, if you're having a problem with this basic thing, make sure that you just comment in the comment section below, right? So you comment there so that we can easily reach you. So this guy will go into everything here. It means that this one will cancel this guy out. Is that okay? Right, so this guy will cancel this, so I'm just left with this x minus 1 here, and then use that to multiply the top one, right? So here we are going to have the s minus 1 and then plus, this is a plus that we are having, so this guy here divided by everything added down here, meaning that this x minus 1 is also going to cancel this, right? So I'm just going to left it with the s plus 1 here. So s plus 1 multiplied by the top here, that's going to be 2 multiplied by the s plus 1. Is that correct? Okay, so if you have any question here, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section below. So because of you, that is why you are here. So if you have any problem, make sure that you reach us in the comment section. So proceeding from this point here, remember the question says you should simplify. So proceeding from this point here, so here we are just going, let me write it here. So here we are going to have the s minus 1 plus, so this guy multiplied by that will give you us 2s, and then this multiplied by that should be positive 2, everything divided by x plus 1 and then x minus 1. So the purpose of this video here is just to tell you how to simplify, right? So that is the main idea behind this video, for you to understand the basic of simplifications of a fraction. So here, what can we do here? We can see that this guy at the top here, we can just add them, right? So we have the x here, we have another x here. Is that okay? So it means that we are going to have x s. Okay, let me do it like s plus 2x, and then we have numbers here. So here we have minus 1 and then plus plus. To be very careful with a minus, so always the sign in front of you is what belongs to you, right? So this sign is in front of a negative 1, so this negative belongs to the 1. Okay, now everything divided by x plus 1 and then x minus 1. So don't multiply this guy. If you multiply, you are making it more complicated, because the question says that you should simplify, right? So here we are going to have this guy plus this one, that was just with 3s, and then this plus this one, so that's going to be positive 1. This is just for understanding people. This is not a complete mathematics question. So if you gain some value from this video, why don't you give us a thumbs up Or if you are new here, once again, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.